Dear 2021 Temmie, this time last year, so in 2021, you were in your apartment in Cardiff, pretty much having the worst time ever. You were going through a very difficult, traumatic, and painful breakup. You were working way too much. It was pandemic year 2, and on top of all of that, you were isolated and you didn't know anyone in Cardiff. You spent many days crying your eyeballs out in your bedroom alone, and it really felt as though you weren't going to make it. But I am reflecting now in 2022, and we did make it. We made it, and it didn't mean that we made it without any scars, but we got through. And in fact, I just want to go through some of the incredible things that you did last year. You decided that you were going to apply to a PhD, even after working in a pretty lucrative tech career for a number of years and a tech policy career for a number of years, and you were going to step back into academia. You did that 2 times and you got into a master's program, which you are currently working on. And then you applied and you got into not 1, not 2, but 3 PhD programs. On top of that, you also applied to and got funding. You achieved a fully funded PhD offer. You also published your first academic article. You totally excelled and killed it at work with your contracting and tech policy. You really started to carve out a name and a space for your approach, for your methodology, for your ways of thinking that other people in the field are starting to take note of. You soft launched Alase, your research and media internet lab. You killed it in your master's program in digital media and society. You maintained an average of 75% in that program while working full time, so a distinction. And you also held down a contracting role whilst doing that academic work. So although it feels like at this moment you weren't going to make it and you had nothing really to look forward to, you really killed it last year, and you should be proud of all the hard work that you've done. So yeah, I think I deserve a pat on the back for all of that. 2021 was a year of answers. I can't remember where I read this or who said this. If I figure it out, I'll try and put it here, or I'll put it in the link below, in the description box below. But 2020 was a year of questions. I was questioning why I was living in Berlin. I was questioning the relationship I was in. I was questioning the friendships I had. I was questioning my career. I was questioning everything. And 2021 was definitely a year of answers. So yeah, I think the saying is something like, there are years that are questions and then there are years that are answers.
Editing Temmie here. Just wanted to jump on and say, very embarrassing. I'm a whole ass English degree holder. It's Zora Neale Hurston who has the quote where she says, there are years that ask questions and there are years that answer. And that's in the book, Their Eyes Are Watching God.
And the past year was definitely a year that was answers. I got a lot of answers to the questions I had, and those answers were sometimes painful, they were difficult, but I really had to go through it in order to figure out what the answer was. So I'm not sure what this year will be, but I don't tend to do resolutions. When I was younger, I did, and it was typically always about like wanting to get skinnier. But ever since I got more spiritual and tried to become more of a witchy girl, then I started to think more about intentions. And for me, I don't know if this is like the right definition, but for me, intentions are really ways of being versus like measurable goals. I sort of see them as like investments into who I want to become. So like into future Temmie's vibe or aura. Um, so yeah, so I always try to write, always. For the past 2 years, I've had a word of the year, and this is what I have on my like Notion overview, and I just find it sort of like a really, I don't know, like centering thing to see when I open up my Notion. I think last year it was ambition because I was really being ambitious. This year, my word of the year is grounding, and the definition that I found online is the process of balancing your physical, emotional, mental energy states and reconnecting them. And this word really struck with me because for the past couple of years, I feel like I've been in flux and I've been up and down and quite literally moving all over the world. And now I'm in my home, or what feels like my home, and I'm really focusing on getting settled and putting down roots. And so when I was thinking about what I wanted my word of the year to be, like grounding really stuck out to me. And in therapy, we talked about grounding as sort of like getting outside into nature and, you know, walking barefoot on grass or, you know, tree hugging or whatever. And I do find nature very grounding, but I didn't only want it from that point of view. So yeah, when I was looking about online for like what the definition was and what I was trying to express in this word, then yeah, this notion of sort of like balancing all of my different like levels of being, so physical, mental, and emotional, and like reconnecting them and centering them is really what I hope for this year. And that brings me to like the intentions that I have for myself. And intentions, and yeah, for me, that's really about who I want to be, who I want to become, you know, like when I'm a older woman and I'm like thinking back and sort of like the aura and the vibe that I want people to get from me and I want to have for myself. And I see intentions as sort of ways to try and become more of that person. So they're sort of like unmeasurable sort of like states of being or thinking or believing. And I only have 4 this year. The first one is to mirror people. This year, and I think moving forward, what I learned last year is that when it comes to relationships, personal, platonic, I don't want to constantly give more than I receive. I am a giver when it comes to my friends and my family and my friendships, and that is perpetually exhausting when you're always the one giving and not getting back. And so when I was thinking about my intentions, I want to become more mirror-like in relationships, in that I want to mirror those who basically give me what I give them back, and it is a equal and level of effort is the same, rather than some relationships, and particularly with friendships that I've been in before, where I'm constantly the one putting in the effort and reaching out and not really getting, the friendship that I'm looking for. And I think, you know, making friends as an adult is number one, the ghetto, but it's also a little bit like dating. You have to be on the same page. Not everyone is really looking to make like real, like full friendships. Some people are just looking for new acquaintances. And I think I have fallen into situations where I've been looking to make new friends, like really full-on friends, and some people have only really been looking to meet new people. And so, yeah. So number 2 is creative curiosity. So I want to create and be curious about creating without self-judgment. I think I have constantly told myself I'm not really creative. I'm very much someone who is strategic. I'm an interlocutor. I see patterns. I understand paradigms. In a lot of my professional life, I'm the person that writes the strategies. I've been digital strategist, marketing strategist, and I've always acknowledged that there is a creativity within strategy, but I've never seen myself as a creative person in more of the traditional sense, so, you know, art or whatever. But in the past couple of months, I have felt this burgeoning abundance of wanting to be more creative. So like coming on to YouTube, and I was really shocked at how much fun I had when I was editing, and also like I'm okay at it, like I'm pretty good at it. And yeah, I just want to have more of that creative curiosity without self-judgment or without pressure. So I want to like just write on my blog. I want to create more YouTube like videos about whatever I want. I want to create my Instagram archive. I have been dabbling in poetry as a means of healing, and it's been really helpful for me. I want to have creative curiosity as a means of play versus a means to an end. The third intention I have is what the great Adrian, or Yoga with Adrian, always says, which is to find what feels good. And I say that in the every day. I just want to find one thing that I liked, that I laughed, that I loved, and like write it down. So in the jar thing, as I said before, I found that really uplifting to see on my windowsill every day. And also something that my partner reminds me is, you know, he's really good at just like, I know, taking joy in the little things in life, and I'm really bad at that. So I'm hoping that writing this little thing down every day will help me. Full disclosure, it's January 3rd, and I have not written a single one, but I will go back and retroactively write 2 things. And the fourth intention that I have is to cultivate the ties that bind. I can't get into the history of my relationship with my immediate family right now, nor do I want to, but it's always felt difficult to me hearing other people's relationships with their family, because it seems like it was, or they're very close, and you know, they're my family. My sisters and my brothers, we're siblings, we're close, but we're not close in that sense. We're close because we're related, and we have a family chat, but we're not super close at all. And I think since my mom died, we've also drifted apart. And I think also me, I've run, and I have, yeah, I guess, I don't know. It's just, we're not that close. And I've always sort of saw myself as an island in my family. But I don't think I am. And I also don't want to be anymore. So this year, I really want to reconnect with my family and see them more often. You know, for the first time, we're all, except for my younger brother, in the UK. Usually it's me living in Southeast Asia or Australia or in Berlin or Canada or wherever. And we're all now in the UK. So I want to make use of being relatively much closer and see my siblings and get to know my nieces and nephews. So yeah, those intentions I feel fit with my grounding ethos definition for the word of the year. And overall, I think if I continue with these intentions and with these practices, I will become that woman that I kind of see in my head that I hope is me, which, if I'm honest, is kind of just like a slightly different version of my mom, which is fine and great because it's my mom and she was awesome. So yeah, thanks for watching. I hope any of this was interesting or inspiring. If you did like it, please like it, and please leave me a comment below if you have any intentions that you want to share, or just to say hi. Thank you.